Hi, I'm Anatole. This is my reaction video to Violet Evergarden Season 1, Episode number 5, titled You Write Letters That Bring People Together? And it scored 8.3 on IMDb. And it's been a while since I've done a video on Violet Evergarden, about 3 weeks. Been a little bit busy, so I'm eager and excited to get into another episode. Been missing it. So please join me after the intro and I will do my reaction video to Violet Evergarden Season 1, Episode 5, You Write the Letters That Bring People Together? I like the way the opening credits are going here by rolling. They're going into a cold open. Boy, this is really beautiful. That castle is really beautiful. Great animation. Hey, it's almost English. Can't quite read it though. This has got to be high Japanese. They have that angled low so that you can feel like you're looking from the princess's view. That's really smart. Does she know her own age? I wonder. No, she doesn't know. 14? Really? She's drawn older than 14? Oh, maybe not. She's drawn a little mature for 14. A lot mature for 14. I didn't even think she was 14. What does Violet know about things like this? Phew, marrying a 14-year-old. Well, at least they're being historically accurate, even if it's not politically correct to consider these things. But there's no way they're going to marry her off to a 24-year-old in this episode. Well, maybe they will. We'll have to see. Well, either he's got the words, or his advisors have the words, and his advisors. I don't know, we don't know, but someone is writing the right words. But is it the truth? Because the words don't always represent the truth. Well, I feel for her, this young girl thrust into this situation. She's gone. There's a shape in the bed, but she's not there. Yeah, she's not there. She's gone. Yeah, blame it on her. Blame it on the girl. Oh, she is there. Well, okay, that's a surprise. Put her mom in the painting. Jesus, she can't even get privacy when she wants privacy. So she is, you would think of a queen or a princess as being the ultimate authority, but this poor girl's not even in control of her own bedroom. Probably not. So here, communication is pointless. Right. We're faced with a situation where it doesn't matter what you say. It's interesting, in a way, because we keep seeing these people through the eyes of Violet, or we keep seeing Violet through the eyes of these people, and Violet is really a blank slate because her humanity is so damaged and impaired. It's almost like this show is training us on how to be human. It's my party and I'll cry if I want to. That's saying something, though, when the person whose party it is doesn't even want to be at that party. So she does want to get married. I'm so confused. She's going to write a letter for the prince? She's doing something outside of her duty. So it doesn't seem to be questioning whether having a 14-year-old marry is appropriate. So wait, if she's 14 now, she was 10 when she met the prince, is that right? This can't be as straightforward as it seems. There's got to be a twist. It's because the prince is in the bed? She's only 14, right? Or am I mistaken about her age? I thought she was only 14. I'm a little conflicted about this episode. Maybe I'm misunderstanding it. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. It seems like the episode was going towards really a serious place and questioning child trafficking and agency and the role of arranged marriage in the past. And then it turned into this fantasy of a happy marriage, a young girl's fantasy. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what my thoughts are going to be when I come back to do my review in a day or so. You're introducing the antagonist at the very end of the episode? Boy, the pacing on this is really weird. I don't know if it's bad, but it's very strange. That's the end of the episode. My normal method is to watch the episode a second or even a third time and watch some criticism, read reviews, and then come back and do my review. And out of all the episodes of Violet Evergarden this season, I think this one, most of all, needs some careful thought. So I'm glad that's my normal method. I won't be doing anything different than normal because right now I'm very conflicted about how I feel about this episode. So I may have misunderstood some of the plot. That's the purpose of watching the episode a second time. Clear up any misunderstanding, and that'll give me time to think about how I want to approach talking about this episode. So join me in a second or two, and I will come back. It'll be the next day or a couple days later when I do my review, and I'll give you my thoughts on this episode of Violet Evergarden. Welcome back, and now my thoughts on the episode. So I've watched the episode 3 times. I've watched some reviews and criticism on YouTube, and then I went to Reddit, and I usually find Reddit is very helpful for feeling the pulse of what the viewership is responding to in an episode. And so I was curious if how many people who watched the episode would have a problem regarding Violet's age and the princess's age. And the ages of the men that they're in love with. And there was a minority of people who did have problems with that. But I was surprised to find that I think the majority of the comments I read were very positive, and many people said this was their favorite episode of the season. So they were responding to the development, what they saw was the development of Violet's character in this episode, the way that she was able to really blossom and empathize with the situation of another person and put their emotions in. And she actually, in this case, she didn't put their emotions into words. She acted as a mother, and very much this episode was about mothers. And she was able to act as a mother to the princess and enable the princess to find the voice that the princess lacked because she lacked so much agency. So that was the positive part of the episode. But again, there was a minority, of which I'm included, of people who had problems with the ages of both the princess and Violet. So the princess is 14 in the episode, and she is courting, or she's slated to marry the prince, who is 24. And one response was that in some cultures that's the age of consent. Well, whether that's right or wrong, I guess, is a separate question. But when you look further into the story, she first met the prince when she was 10. So we are really talking about a young child, the love story of a young child. And for me, that is deeply unsettling. And then Violet's own story mirrors the princess, which is probably why she's able to empathize with the princess. With a major, I think it's Gilbert, right? That's the one that she loves, Gilbert Bougainvillea. And so we don't know when that story was, of when she was told that when the major in his death scene told Violet that he loved her, but we can assume it was at least a year before, if not two. So Violet may have been as young as 12 years old when this major confessed his love for her. All of that is just, I don't even know where to start. And I saw a few people writing it off as, oh, that's anime, because I guess it's a common trope in anime. And whether it's common or not, it shouldn't be normalized. So I just cannot say that this episode is. I can't say I like the episode. It's well made. I still don't think the acting is great. It's sufficient. There's not a lot of emotion in this that feels like the actor is really in the moment. It just feels well produced, the acting that is, and also to the standard of the industry that it's in. It doesn't feel like it goes beyond that standard. It's not exceptional in that regard. So that's why I say it's sufficient. And I'm trying to think of what other elements. I do like the fact, again, there's this feeling of a vague Europe, one that Miyazaki refers to often in his films. That's very appealing. It's very idealized and light soaked, and of course that brings out that feeling of escapism that you like to go to this land, even if there's that aspect of war that's troubling it all. But below that, I like that the beginning of the episode felt like it was going to deconstruct the mores of that Europe in regards to arranged marriages and the ages of them, and maybe come to a more modern take on that old practice. But it just sort of unravels and falls into the typical tropes of a romance film without questioning the underpinnings of why this romance is happening, that it was an arranged marriage, and that this is a girl, one born to temper tantrums and emotional outbursts that are appropriate to her age, and she's embarked in an arrangement that is not appropriate to her age, but that's never really questioned in depth. So yeah, I didn't like this episode, and I know I'm in the minority, at least from what I can see on the comments posted to Reddits. I'm interested, what is your take on this episode? Did this age difference bother you? And if it did, do you chalk it up to just, oh, that's anime? Or do you also share my opinion? This episode is just a little bit too cringy, too creepy for comfort. Please let me know what your thoughts are on this episode. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, take care and be well. Goodbye.